This conference will now be recorded.
Not the right answer. Thank you. They were open when they used to shut me. That's the wrong hand. It was working perfectly a minute ago.
Will now be recorded.
Some batteries. We're gonna need the invocation tonight. So we're gonna need it.
Oh, yes, we are.
You got this phone thing figured out? Okay. Thank God Ryan came in.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Technical problems. We're gonna go ahead and, call the meeting to order at, 6:44. Welcome everyone here in the room. Thank you for being here, and those of you online as well. Appreciate you being with us and, supporting, and love to hear your feedback, and, so I'm glad you're here. We have, let's go ahead and do roll call. So Commissioner Anaya,
Here.
Commissioner Powers,
Here.
Commissioner Brennan,
Here.
Commissioner Donner,
Here.
and I am here. So we'll go ahead and, stand for the invocation and then pledge and salute to the New Mexico flag. Okay, so let's bow our heads. Lord of the universe, you have given most of mankind a strong desire to do good, to be honest, to serve others, and to faithfully fulfill their obligations to their neighbors. Help us as commissioners and, I guess I could say Edgewoodians, and humans to do good. Help us to be honest and ethical in all of our dealings. Help us to serve others, and, help us to faithfully fulfill our obligations as neighbors to our communities, our nation, and the world. Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico and the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and then seconded by Commissioner Brennan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, public comment. Do you have anyone here for public comment? Cavalry, come on up.
Hello. I'm here to talk about the Edgewood Arena, and I just wanted to.
So I can hear you online.
I'm here to talk about the Edgewood Arena. I heard there was some new commissioners in the area, and I was hoping that you guys would help, our community be a little bit proactive about what's going on at the Edgewood Arena. Right now, it is running on COVID restrictions. What happened when COVID happened was the previous administration refused to, continue to care for it as we have since it opened. The town of Edgewood, I heard, pays about $6 million per year from the town of Edgewood to Santa Fe County for the arena facilities. I'm asking the town to be proactive in helping the citizens with what used to be a true open space to continue to be. Since the opening of the arena, what was and still is now a happy and safe, free place to go and meet up with other friendly riders may turn into another place with red tape limited to only those who call months ahead and can pay to reserve space only for themselves. I'm hoping that the town of Edgewood can hopefully bring back the responsibility of the arena. The county commissioners were they were rushed into making unrealistic fee schedules for the arena just to be able to reopen it. I tried to fight this and I was told, shh, don't say anything, just let it be and we will put it under COVID restrictions. Nobody will have to pay to use the arena. I have had a few calls here and there about reserving the arena for events and maintenance. People want to know why they still can't reserve the arena for smaller events, and it's because it's still under COVID restrictions. They cannot figure out how to get me as a free trustee of the arena to collect money and then where to take the money and put the money for people to reserve the arena. That's one concern that they have and why it's still under COVID restrictions. The second question I get often is why can't the town of Edgewood help with maintaining the arena? Right now, this is how it works. The county cares for trash, mowing, the manure pile, the bathroom maintenance. When there starts to be a problem, I call Santa Fe County to Anna and put in a request for it to be mowed, trash taken out, or the manure pile to be picked up. As of right now, you can drive by the arena, you can look at the clouds in the sky, you can look at how many people are there, you can go home, load up your horses and your kids, and go over there and ride. Your kids can play in the sand while you ride, and there are bathrooms to use. It's a nice facility. You can meet new people that also like to ride and discuss maybe trading riding techniques or things that you need help with your own horses. My family has met new friends over there. My daughter has received help over there. We're able to meet up with other people that have helped her in her 4-H goals in accomplishing things with her young horse. Everybody cleans up after themselves, and I have not had a problem, nor have I ever heard of there being a problem with anybody that uses the Edgewood Arena. Right now, also, we have a volunteer, Mark Velarde. He's been going over there with his own time, his own fuel, and his own equipment to rake the arena as much as he can. If they lift the COVID restrictions, we will be caught kind of not knowing what's going on. The fees that they have placed on the arena, the lowest fee is open riding, which is $250 per horse. So if I wanted to go home and load up my kids, and I will have to bring my $2.50 money order or check to I don't know who, and pay every time I want to go take my kids to ride for a little while. Sometimes we go there, we ride for half an hour, sometimes we're there for 3 or 4 hours, chit-chatting with other people and having fun. If, according to this pay schedule, if I go over there for half a day, I will need to pay $20. I will have to pay a $25 damage deposit, and I will have to reserve that, before I go over there. I won't know what the weather is, I won't know if I'll be able to go that day, and I will not get my refund back. As this contract says that 0 through 14 days, you will get 0% refund. I would like to give the town of Edgewood the copy of policies and procedures for the use of Santa Fe Edgewood Equestrian Center, the Edgewood Equestrian waiver and release of liability, and the Santa Fe County Edgewood Equestrian Center temporary use lease agreement. So I hope you guys please consider talking to the county and help service the people in Edgewood and surrounding areas in keeping this an easy come, easy go open space.
Thank you, Calvary.
Mayor?
Yes.
Would you please state your name for the record? I don't think we got the
My
name.
name is Tavri Moorhead. I'm currently the trustee for the Edgewood Arena through Santa Fe County.
I appreciate you coming tonight and bringing this up. I was at that meeting with Rudy Garcia, who was our commissioner over a year and a half ago? And as you recall, the last administration, like so many of our recreational programs, had refused to continue the practice of maintaining the arena and operating the arena for our citizens of Edgewood. It's owned by the Santa Fe County, but Edgewood had a maintenance agreement on it. So I appreciate you bringing it up, because this is kind of we've been slowly, or not so slowly, resurrecting a lot of the recreational programs and recreational facilities, our open space. So this is one that I really want to address, and I appreciate you bringing it up. I understand we have a new county commissioner, or will have soon, perhaps our existing commissioner, for whatever reason, I think has resigned. I've been trying to get a hold of him for over a month. And we do have a new county manager coming in. So it's a whole new slate of players, and we definitely will pick this up with them and see what we can do, because it just doesn't make sense to have it operated from 70 miles away, have volunteers who pay taxes, but we all pay taxes to Santa Fe County. So I really appreciate you bringing it up, and we will be addressing the issue.
I appreciate it. I'm hopeful of your guys' ability to help us out with this, and I know a lot of people from our community work very hard to have that arena built, and are sad to see these contracts and the way that it's been turned out. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Calvary. Yeah. And just to clarify too, the Edgewood does pay $6 million a year in GRT. That goes, or should go, to many different purposes, which would include the arena. So thank you so much for giving us the update and this information too. And in time, I think it will be addressed. There's a new county manager coming in that hopefully we can make some progress with as well. So, any other public comments? Come on up. Okay, anyone online? You want to unmute caller 2? Unmute caller 2. Caller 2, do you have any comments? No? Okay. Anyone on the GoToMeeting, you can mute caller 2 back again. And then anyone on the GoToMeeting, you can unmute yourself if you have any public comments. Okay, we'll go ahead and move forward then, hearing none. Next, approving amending or disapproving the minutes. Okay,
There we go.
great. So I would like to make a motion to pull the June 7th and 14th minutes for amendment, but we can proceed with the 21st, 28th, and July 1st and 12th.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then we can go ahead and probably consider, at least 4 minutes, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as one, unless you changes on any individuals. Commissioner Brennan?
Jumped ahead of. All right, so we're doing 28, 1, and 12? Yep.
21, 28, 1, and 12.
All right, on the one for July 1st, when we came out of closed session, I don't see it in there that we made a motion to come out of closed session. See it where we did, we went into closed session.
Vote. Call pursuant. Made a motion to go in,
Not to come out.
seconded. Okay, so, yeah, okay, so we need to pull that one for work too.
Need a motion on that poll?
We really don't, but we can just to make it official, I guess.
I'll make that motion to pull that one as well.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, any other changes? Good catch on that one.
There was another one like that. Oh, I think it was on the ones we pulled already, so.
Okay, well, let us know on that. Okay, so we have June 21st, 28th, and July 12th. Do we have a motion to approve?
Madam Mayor?
Sorry, what? June 21st, June 28th, and July 12th are left for approval.
We pulled July 1st as well as the other two.
We pulled June 7th, 14th, and July 1st. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so do we have a motion on the other two?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for June 21, June 28, and July 12.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll go ahead and start with the June 2022 Department Advisory Board report. First off, Chief, come on up.
Good evening. So for the month of June, the Edgewood Police Department installed 2 in-car repeater systems, which, if you remember several commission meetings back, we wanted to test those to see if they improved the radio communication for our portable radios. Helped out immensely. So we're gonna go ahead and order the remaining 10 for the remaining, for the big help. Excellent. Thank you to the commission for that.
Chief, what kind of extra range did he give you?
So essentially now we could be at the back of Walmart and still get out on our, portable system. As opposed to, as soon as you walked into the building, you would lose all contact. So it is a huge help, huge. Awesome. I attended a ERT meeting with the Moriarty Edgewood School District. This is gonna be monthly meetings, and what we're doing in these meetings is trying to work out any possible issues that first responders may have when responding to any kind of emergencies at the schools. First meeting, well, we've been meeting on these for a long time, but this is the first revamp since COVID. And the first meeting, we hit the ground running, a lot of really good changes. And we will meet again every month until we decide that we don't see it necessary, which will probably be meeting for the rest of the foreseeable future. So really good meetings as far as that goes. The Edgewood Police Department in the month of June held its first Junior Police Academy, which was a huge success. We had about 90 kids turn out for the total of 6 days. So huge turnout. It was excellent. we would like to also say a quick thank you to all the participants. We had APD Bomb Squad, New Mexico State Police SWAT turnout, BCSO's K-9 unit, Santa Fe County's recruiting team, Santa Fe County Fire Department, and then Torrance County's DWI program. They all came out to assist in the event, so it was a huge thank you to all of them. Myself and Nina represented Edgewood Police Department Torrance County First Responder Day on June 18th. We got an invite to go out there, and we shook hands and kissed babies over there. On June 27th, Officer Nick Brown started back with the Edgewood Police Department. He's currently on FTO, and we couldn't be happier to have Nick back. And I will stand for any questions.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Naya?
Chief, I have a question for you on the, item number 2, with the ERT Emergency Response Team. Currently, how many officers are in the schools here in Edgewood?
As in the SRO,
Yes.
we have no SROs in Edgewood.
So how are we protecting the children in the schools currently then?
The same as we're protecting the citizens. It's all by call.
Call?
Yeah, call and patrol.
Does the school have any intent to place officers in the buildings now?
That hasn't been discussed as of yet, as far as from the school's perspective. If we had the manpower, I would absolutely love to have an officer at every school, but it's one of those things where limited staffing. We do try to be present every morning and every afternoon for pickup, and we try to make as many patrols as we can throughout the day.
When you, go to the meetings over there, can you push this particular item? With today's, atmosphere, it's pretty, I don't have to tell you or the audience how dangerous it is right now for our kids.
I agree. I actually threw something in the meeting. I threw it forward to them, something for them to consider. We have Chiefs overtime, and you guys that are familiar with Albuquerque know that if you see a police officer, APD officer at Home Depot or Sonic or something, that is what you would deem as Chiefs overtime, or we call it extra duty per our policy. So Chiefs overtime is something where you could allot a certain amount of hours for that officer. Essentially, you're renting an officer for a particular business. What I tried to do in our previous meeting was throw that at the school district and try to encourage them to utilize that, because not only would you have an officer's presence, you could make it as random as possible. So anybody that would be thinking about threatening one of our schools has to really think twice about whether an officer is going to be there. So that was one of my ideas that I pushed forward in the last meeting. I really hope that they could take advantage. They really liked the idea. So extra duty overtime for the schools, and like I said, if it's a random 2 hours here, 2 hours there, I think that'd be excellent, and I think it'd really cover a lot of bases as far as making somebody really think twice about harming our kids.
Okay, so currently you have officers, doing the rounds, stop by the schools and just be present?
We try to be present as much as we can every morning for pickup and every afternoon for pickup. It's all based on call, but we try to be there every morning. If nothing else, just to simply slow the traffic down.
And how about during lunch hours?
During lunch hours, we used to do the police at lunch program. We haven't really revamped that as much as we used to, all really based off of staffing.
Okay, I bet they'd give you free lunch.
I don't know if they would.
We'll ask for you, okay?
Okay, for the job.
Thank you, Chief.
Of course. For any more.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Commissioner Powers?
So Chief, I just wanted to ask you, I mean, Edgewood's such a small town, and the proximity, you've got patrols going all the time, I see the officers. What would be your guesstimate of the average response time to one of our schools? Would it be just a matter of minutes?
It would be a matter of minutes, yes. Our emergency response is generally 3 minutes.
Yeah. So that's great response Okay, I just wanted to check that, because unlike some towns or cities, I know it can be 25 minutes, 20 minutes, but,
Oh, no, there'd be, definitely be something they would be tied up on or something.
yeah,
But no, our dispatch will definitely prioritize, and if they need to break us from a call that we're on, they prioritize and break us from the call that we're on to respond to higher emergency priority calls.
okay. And the equipment you mentioned that got installed, that you tested out, was that also the equipment that was gonna solve the problem of close proximity canceling out the communications?
Yes, and it does work.
It does
So,
work, okay.
Yeah, it does work to where they actually communicate with each other. The technology has improved greatly, and they won't, lock out the system like it used to do. So, one, the portable is actually standalone. You could actually, fully function just off the portable, whereas the older portable radios were actually 100% required a repeater. So if you did not have a repeater, you could not function with that radio. The new ones, they stand alone, meaning they could broadcast on their own. And two, they also communicate with each other, so if multiple repeaters are on, they don't lock up the system. So
Terrific.
It's really excellent.
Good call on that equipment.
Any further?
You guys have anything? I have a couple. So just on the topic of the communications, I just want to tell everybody just this simple example of collaboration and how this has led to really great success. So I remember it was Kay, Commissioner Powers, and I, and Tim Miller, and I think Mike Green, the chief, and Chief brought up, you know, the issues with communication. And we were whiteboarding a bunch of different issues and problem-solving things and saying, let's tackle this and this and this. And that was one of them. And so when it came time for a budget, you know, we definitely tried to make that a priority. And I think if we hadn't been in that meeting, just like brainstorming, talking, trying to solve problems, maybe we wouldn't be here today with this great solution. And so, as much as maybe in the past they're just trying to push people away, the way the town is functioning now is fantastic. I mean, we all get together, we have committees, we have advisory boards, we have many meetings, Zooms, whatever it takes, just to try to tackle things one at a time and get them done. And I'm so happy that this is working. So, thank you for bringing that up at the meeting and following through with, you know, actually getting it and trying it out. That's great.
Well, couldn't have done it without support, so
Yeah.
appreciate that.
And it takes follow through though, so you did that, which is fantastic. Let's see, oh, also, I was gonna ask you, is this in Excel, the monthly report? Is it in Excel, that table that you have with the number of calls and?
That is actually directly from Santa Fe RATC.
Okay, do you think that we could get that for last year, for like annual numbers? Or maybe if they have by month in a workbook in Excel or something, where we could add them all up and see?
Sure. Would you like me to request the entire last year for you?
Yes, yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
And that's all I have. Next, I guess would be animal control, so we have the advisory board, some members here as well, if they wanna come on up. Chief, did you have anything on animal control? Sorry, I just thought you could kinda.
No real news for animal control for the month of June. We did make some good progress in the advisory board, which I'm sure she'll touch on for the month of June. We started the volunteer handbook as well as, went through further changes with ordinances. But, as far as the shelter itself, no major news.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Dana.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Good. Okay, so Tim kind of threw me up. So here we go. Let's see. So we have been working on the ordinance, the animal control ordinance. We've got quite a few changes that we're kind of working through, before we present that. Let's see, we have been working on the volunteer handbook, reviewing that, making comments, trying to make that better. And then, we talked about our emergency trailer, that we have, needs to be kind of gone through, and just in case we have any kind of, emergency fire situations, such as the dog head fires, et cetera, where we need help with the animals. that trailer all put together and inventoried and everything. But we are, discussing the ordinance, we've been going through that page by page, doing some rewrites and some removals, adding some, pulling some stuff and, probably putting it into a procedures manual for the AOs, and so a lot of the stuff that's in there, we don't feel it really fits with, ordinance information. Let's see, Wolfstock, that is scheduled for September 17th. We did not receive the grant money for that, due to, our animal intake and release, or adoption program. We had to have 250 animals, and due to COVID and other, the cattery not being ready, up and running, we only had 200, so we missed it by 50. So we're putting together a plan to figure out how much this is actually going to cost us, breakdown of costs and who will be attending, and so that we can see if we can get some funding. Do you have anything to add, Tim? So we're trying to locate tents. Right now, I think Garcia Tent has kind of cornered the market on that. We're gonna work with the fireworks people and see if they can, get us a better deal on tents as well. I think that's it. Do you have any questions?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Commissioner Powers.
I know you've been working on the ordinance. I was just wondering how that barking dog provision's coming along.
That would be Tim or Chief.
So basically, we're going line by line, page by page. As far as that one in particular, what we're gonna try to do is reach out to other municipalities and see if we have one that we could adopt or basically take the same wording, one that's proved successful in another municipality.
I did reach out to the league on that and, talked to legal counsel on it too. What they suggested is that, the clerk go through their listserv, through the league and request, the copies of them from, the other municipalities through the listserv, through the other clerks that can give us copies. And you can even specifically say this is one issue that we really have here, and maybe one of the meetings has, something specific for that.
And we've been, just requesting them on our own. We have a pretty good stack, and we've been kind of doing a cross-reference from ours to the other municipalities.
Okay.
Any input from the municipalities that how successful they've been able to enforce it? Because I know that was the big complaint, is a lot of them seem to be unenforceable.
Not that on that one directly. No, we've been kind of doing more of a blanket over the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't given one particular ordinance more attention than the other.
Okay. That would be the thing that's important to me about it, is to find a municipality that is able to successfully implement the ordinance and enforce it.
And that's definitely what we want to do before that, especially that particular one.
Yeah.
Make sure that we're getting one that's good and solid.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Next, we have the municipal court. I didn't see the report in here.
Yep.
Okay, so, any comments, commissioners, or concerns on this one? All right, hearing none, we'll move next to roads. Any questions or comments on roads?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
There was one thing that had brought up with, town manager when I was in the office, it was Thursday, over there by the fire department. We've been able to get a hold of
Santa Fe County about clearing the weeds around that guardrail so people can actually see that there's a guardrail there?
I did not get hold of Santa Fe County yet.
Chief, were you able to get a hold of your contact?
I did, I reached out to mine, and he said it's in the Cerrillos district. I don't know what that means. He said that particular area is Cerrillos.
Can you translate that, Brad?
It's too much. Madam Chair?
It's somebody else's problem, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yes, I did reach out.
Okay.
That
Commissioner
is, under, District 3, excuse me, and, that's part of the issue that's going on right now with, the commissioner that we have. And I don't know if he's part-time, I don't know if he, as Jerry mentioned earlier, if he's resigned or what, but, Bustamante is the commissioner-elect, and, she is, ready to go to work, so we don't know what, their timeframe looks like right now, but she's, pretty anxious to come down here as soon as she can, because she wants to meet with the, commissioners. And I knew this a couple of weeks ago, but I have to apologize to the commissioners. I was kind of out of pocket for a little bit, so, now that I have a chance to tell you all, she definitely wants to meet with us and, fill in the blanks.
All right.
So whenever you all feel like, you want to sit down with her, just, let me know and we'll make arrangements.
Is she running unopposed?
She's already in. Yes, she is unopposed. She is it.
Because the election doesn't have until November, right?
Correct.
I see.
Okay, next we have the library. Rachel, you want to come on up?
Okay, so, I'll try to make this short and sweet, so you guys have a minute to get through. So there's just a couple things that I wanted to update you all on, and, a couple things I wanted to clarify. So as far as programs and events, we do have a couple things going on in the library right now. We have our summer reading program, as well as our summer take and eat kits. Currently, in the summer reading program, we have about 136 participants, and of course, that number goes up every single day, with new patrons coming in and everything, and us just trying to promote it. For the summer take and make kits, for the June ones, those ones ran out in about 3 days, so they were very popular. The July ones, just because of the past month, we still have a few left right now, so we're just kind of trying to get the word out and let people know that we still have some left. So definitely, if you guys have anybody that would enjoy those, definitely let them know. As far as improvements, the restrooms were up and running in the library there for quite some time. However, they did back up again today. That situation and everything was taken care of. They are scheduled to be fixed they're scheduled to be fixed tomorrow. The superintendent from the Moretti School District, let us know that they're scheduled to be fixed tomorrow. They're gonna replace the old clay lines and fix the clean out. Exactly what that means, I'm not too good on plumbing, but that's what they're gonna do. As far as other news, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but I did have my baby on June 8th.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Boy or girl?
A girl. Yes. Her name is Ariana. She's currently a month and a half right now. She's doing great. So, Andrea, of course, is no longer here, so the librarian position has been filled. The orientation for the new person is scheduled for August 1st. Right now, the library currently is on temporary hours, just because, I was on maternity leave whenever Andrea left, so I kind of, had to come back. I didn't want the library to close. I know how important it is for the community for us to stay open, so, hours right now right now, the temporary hours are scheduled until July 31st, but we may have to extend them a couple weeks, just to get the new personnel trained up and everything, but that hasn't been talked about quite yet. But other than that, if you guys have any questions for me,
I've got one.
I definitely want to. Mayor Pro Tem Powers.
Who is the new person? That position's been filled.
So her name is Brandon Burke. She's
Okay.
the director of the YES program.
Okay, thank you. And welcome back.
Thank you. Any other questions? No?
No. All right.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Parks and Rec, Ben.
You have my report in front of you, so I'll be fairly brief. There was a lot of work done out at Echo Ridge Park in the month of June. We were able to utilize, most every dollar of the $151,000 grant that we had that was expiring June 30th. Tri-West fencing, took up the bulk of that work, but they did finish the perimeter fence and on the gates out there complete. And, they are completely done. Also, Accent Landscaping was out there working, in June as well. They did a lot of, clearing and leveling work on the trailhead. They put in, entry monument signs. It's really nice. We haven't seen it yet. And, they also put in the, trailhead kiosk, which is pretty cool. And, they were able to, there was enough, money in there for that grant to, get the picnic tables and, benches that's out there, as well as, railroad rails and, culvert. The install for that will be pending, but they were able to get a lot of that stuff purchased and on order prior to June 30th. And, along with that, there were two places where the trail that was out there was actually crossing outside of the property, and when that got fenced off, the trail was no longer continuous. So, myself and, David, Bergson on the committee, we went out there and did quite a bit of trail work to, make some new trails, realign it, and make that continuous, as well as barricade off the old trail and, tape off the fence so that people don't just, run into it unknowingly and hurt themselves. So that's mostly done. There's still some work out there that needs to be finished, but, coming along well. There was we have a 40-foot by 9-foot storage building now behind the pavilion at Venus Park. That's going to be, quite helpful. We're going to use that for, program storage, also, event storage. Chief can attest to this, that there's, all the bouncy houses and, all the other stuff for events is sitting in his garage, and, we're planning on bringing that over, as well, so that it's in a better location and more accessible when we need it. So that should make everybody happy. We did not have any events in June. We've had a movie night in July, we'll have another one this weekend. And, at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Brandon Burke, who's been, working furiously and fantastically on the YES program. She has a slideshow she'd like to share with the commission of, goings on there. But it's been a great program, highly successful, so I'll let her, take the reins on that.
Okay. Ben, just a quick question while she's getting set up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Any questions before she starts?
Madam Chair.
Just one moment, before I lose my thought here. So the next movie night, when is that gonna be?
This Friday.
This Friday? And what time?
The movie starts at 8.
8?
You want to sit inside, like, if they're about half an hour early.
So 7:30?
Yeah, the one we had on the 8th was highly popular. We had probably 150 people there.
Wow.
And everyone had a great time. We got a lot of good feedback.
Is that Venus Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're doing it inside the pavilion because, we want to start at 8 and it's still not totally dark at that point, so inside the pavilion, we want to get it going before it's.
Okay.
And after Phil's done,
Go ahead, Commissioner Naya.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ben, how far are we on the process to, have BLM come out and do their inspection on it so that we can continue with the purchase?
I have, emailed them twice and left, phone messages. I'll have to get together with, the, house office. I tried to contact the, Oklahoma office and they said, we need to, contact the house office. So I'll keep on trying.
Are they still working pretty hard on the fires?
I don't know. It's unusual for, them to not return emails or phone calls.
Yeah, that's true. And one other question that I
Haven't
have.
had any luck there, but, it was assumed that once the perimeter was fenced off and gated, then they would allow us to start those proceedings. So since that work's been done, we're hopeful that we can get that going as soon as we can get, communication line.
Right, and, part of that, was that we had the signs and we had the, table, in which we have all of that, correct?
The only thing, the tables have not been installed, because they wanted to finish other trailhead work. If you go out there right now, there's not road base on it, it's not surfaced, it's just kind of cleared out and leveled off. So those are not installed, they are,
We have them in possession?
we do have them.
Okay, and those are in his garage also?
No, they're not in the garage.
Is he still using the bouncy house?
They have it set up in there, I mean, they take breaks.
Thank you, Ben.
Hey, I think a neighboring county had an issue with somebody storing something on their own property, so never know. I don't think the bouncy houses are gonna disappear though.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Commissioner Powers.
So just for the public, I mean, we were able to resurrect our option to purchase Echo Ridge Park, by making these improvements for a couple of $1,000s. So, the work that we've been doing out there will lead to the donation of that property essentially, because it's only a nominal couple of $1,000s for us to get the deed to that BLM property. The other thing is, it's good to know, we have another grant pending for about $250,000, which will allow us to complete the road base, all the things you were talking about, and, possibly to do some of those, chemical toilets out there for the facility. But I want to mention, there are equestrian gates up Tavry, so if any of the people from the equestrian center want to come over, they can drive their horse trailers right in, unload them, and go right through the equestrian gates. So, and we don't charge any fees.
Real quick, on that note, it should be mentioned that, we had the road closed during construction, that's been opened up right now. There's no active construction right now until we have the ability to utilize that as a grant, so it's open to the public, usable. It's been highly improved, so check it out.
Thanks, Ben.
Madam Chair? I have one more question. Ben, what time are the gates open and closed?
So there's no gate blocking the entrance road. The gates are at the, blocking the non-official road from the trailhead, so you can park at the trailhead, which is inside. There's not one blocking off the, entrance to the property.
Okay, so if people wanted to, they could go out there and park?
It's supposed to be an hour before dusk and an hour before dawn and an hour after sunset. Basically, park hours.
Yeah, because that's a great sight to go out there and watch the sunset and sunrise.
It is.
It's beautiful out there, so that's kind of what I was.
Yeah, there's no gate blocking off access to the trailhead.
Thank you, Ben.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Ben, since you weren't here last week, I just wanted to get your thoughts on what we discussed about the 25th anniversary.
We did discuss that in the Parks and Rec meeting, which was the day after, commission meeting. I'm pretty excited about it. We don't have any concrete outline yet, but, we had quite a few ideas we discussed. I mentioned, the town I grew up in, Salt Lake, Arizona, they have a massive Pioneer Day celebration, and, a lot of those ideas that you guys said are things that they've been doing there. So, I was gonna try to get into some of that stuff. We've been from there for years.
did you have something, Sabri?
May I suggest a street dance?
Street dance. Oh, yeah.
In the little town that I came from, we blocked off the whole road, and we had a big fifth wheel trailer and a live band.
Can you just repeat that for the public, Ben?
Yeah, so, street dance where you block off the road and actually have the party in the road. Otherwise called a block party.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ben. All right, Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm the program manager for the YES program. So I just wanted to talk a bit about what we've been doing so far this summer and show you guys a few photos of all the campers having a good time. So just a few basics real quick. YES serves youth ages 5 to 11 in the community. We're also programmed with the Arts Alliance, and the Arts Alliance serves youth 5 to 11, or 5 to 13, sorry. And we currently have a total of 86 campers registered, and as the program was going on, we continued to get more, registration from word of mouth. A lot of parents and guardians were sharing that their children were having fun, so we had, registration continue to increase as the program went on. Typically, we have, 40 campers on average each week. Our highest number was 50 campers one week, so, we do get a lot of campers each week. And for employing, we have 5 senior counselors, ages 18 to 21, 9 junior counselors, ages 15 to 17, and 1 program manager, which is myself. The YES program was primarily funded through grants, so we got a youth grant from Santa Fe County and a youth grant from the state of New Mexico. So these are just a few photos of the First Responders Day we had, about 2 weeks ago. So Edgewood Police Department was kind enough to come out, and speak with the campers, and same with Santa Fe County Fire. They both did presentations, and then the campers got to go inside the police vehicles and learn more about, what was going on. That was all those horns a few weeks ago, the sirens, the kids pressing the buttons. So the YES program has collaborated with a lot of different entities. So we collaborated with the Moriarty Edgewood School District, their nutrition department, and their transportation department. So the nutrition department supplies, breakfast and lunch for all campers, and then transportation, they, provide transportation to and from field trips. And then we work with the Edgewood Community Library. A lot of our activities and stuff take place within the library's rooms, in their back activity room, and the arts room that they have available. And we also have library time on Wednesday afternoons where the campers can go inside the library and like look at the books, learn more about, you know, the library and all of that. Like I said, Edgewood Police Department and Santa Fe County Fire, we collaborate with them. And then the Route 66 Arts Alliance, they put on programs for campers almost every Tuesday of the program. This is a photo of the campers and some of our counselors at Wildlife West who went there about 2 weeks ago for one of our field trips. And then during our second week of camp, we went to the Albuquerque Experience. So this is a few of the kids that they took. So community support, we provide an affordable 8-week summer recreational program for local families. It is $45 a week per camper, so it's pretty affordable for most families. We reinforce local pride through collaboration with first responders, such as the First Responders Day that we had a few weeks ago. We provide summer employment for local teens and young adults. So a lot of our young adults are currently in college or they're about to attend college. So this is great real world experience for them to practice just job skills and learn more about working. We support local businesses through field trips. So went to Wildlife West for one of our field trips, and then we also went to Dairy Queen for after we went to Wildlife West. And then we try and support local businesses through program purchases whenever possible, so we're keeping up with the community. So each week the campers participate in a ton of different activities, and usually those include visual and performing arts, science, sports, reading, music, outdoor fun, game time, and computers. This photo is during our STEM week where the campers learned how to make homemade lava lamps. It was a pretty fun experiment because none of us had ever done it before, so including myself, I didn't know what to expect.
actually works for the campers. This is another photo from our Urban Wildlife Week, and the campers did like a toilet paper butterfly. So our field trips, we do a field trip each week. The field trips are designed around the theme for the week. So our first week was planes, trains, and automobiles. So we went to the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History. Week 2 was Earth and Wildlife Week, so we went to Albuquerque Aquarium and Biopark. Week 3 was Storybook Land, which is we went to Icon Cinemas in Albuquerque and saw Lightyear. And then week 4 was STEM Week, so science, technology, engineering, and math, and we went to Explora. And then week 5 was My Town Week, so all about Edgewood, so we went to Wildlife West and Dairy Queen. Last week, week 6 was Cultures and Traditions Week, so we went to Indian Pueblo Cultural Center. And then this week, we are going to the Natural History Museum. The theme is time travel. And then next week, our last week, the theme is Enter Stage Left, so like theater and film and all of that. And we're going to go to Icon again and see the Minions movie. I'm just looking at the page. And then, like I was saying, with Route 66 Arts Alliance, so they have put on 6 Tuesdays out of our 8-week program for the campers. So they provide teachers, and the teachers teach the campers different forms of art. We have 6 rotations on that Tuesday, so they are learning from 6 different teachers. Most of the art that they're learning, they do percussion each week, they do ceramics and clay each week, and they do drawing each week, but the other activities vary based off the teacher that is there because they all have different specializations. So campers have done silk carving, watercolor painting, native crafts, and a whole bunch of other types of crafts. And then the photo on the left is during the ceramics rotation, and then the photo on the right is during one of our percussion rotations. Just to sum up the program, like I said earlier, the program employs 9 teenagers, 6 young adults, 9 art teachers, a bus driver, and myself. We're serving over 60 families within the community. We support local businesses through purchases and field trips. We're providing an affordable youth program, $45 a week per camper, working with local organizations and businesses, providing interactive learning opportunities for kids, so a lot of our activities are hands-on. It's not just us talking to them, they actually get to do what we're talking about, and then provide engaging, age-appropriate activities for campers. And then lastly, program statement, I think the YES program has been very beneficial to the community. I think a lot of families have benefited from having their campers be able to attend something like this. I know that the last time that the YES program was happening was, I think, 10 or more years ago. So having that big gap where children didn't have that opportunity to just have fun during the summer, I think this is really great for them, and provides a lot of different opportunities that they may not otherwise have. And then lastly, we do have an Edgewood's Got Talent presentation next Friday, July 29th. So if anyone would like to attend, they can. The campers are going to put it on for them, and you can all watch them put on a presentation. That's it.
All right, great work. Thank you so much for everything that you all have been doing. Any comments or questions?
One.
Sure.
I just want to say you did a great job, and this is one of those programs that had been completely abandoned for years, and to bring it back as fast as you did in the way that you did and did such a great job, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
You know what, coming around over here to the office, sure is nice. It's loud, there's kids all over the place, and it just goes to show that the community is truly a community when we allow it to happen. And this commission, I believe that we support, I know I do, with all my heart, support all the kids. They're our future, and As a matter of fact, they're the ones that are gonna bail us out of the problems that we're in today. So thank you for helping them out and guiding them into the right directions. I really appreciate that.
Okay,
I want to thank the, counselors, because they went, beyond, their, job by picking up everything after the children, and they left the building and the bathrooms clean and stuff. And I really appreciate that, they were very, how should I say, good about, doing it with, a good attitude.
that's great. Yeah, the workers have been fantastic. I do have a request. So we did receive a grant, from Santa Fe County for, I believe it was $30,000. But prior to that, it was Senator Schmedes, Greg Schmedes in our area, who provided the $50,000. And so I'm just, thinking if we could send him this PowerPoint, that would be fantastic, just to let him know, hey, he made a huge impact here in Edgewood, to families and kids, and it was just so important. And I'm really grateful for him listening to our needs and then providing those funds, through the state legislature. And then secondly, I don't think Leota at the Independent may be aware of this. I haven't seen anything in the news, so if you could maybe send her this PowerPoint as well, maybe it's something that she could cover, in the future. So, anything else? All right, thank you so much. Next, maintenance. Any questions or comments on maintenance? I do have, I'm just glad to see in the report that they will, start mowing this week. I think that's important because the weeds are out of control. And I know they can't take them all out by hand. So I'm glad to see that they're mowing. And then, Commissioner Anaya, you want to talk about the lighting? Thank you for all you've done on that to make that happen. I think it was maintenance that put it up, right?
Madam Chair, yes, that is correct, and we started that, of course, I ordered the lights, Kay ordered them, but, I did the research on them, and as soon as it gets dark out there, you'll be able to see the parking lights, without having to use the big spotlights that we were renting, every week. We're probably gonna have to add a few more out there. But right now, the maintenance department did a fantastic job at, putting them up, and we even had the chief out there, lifting up the poles by himself.
All right.
Thank you,
It's a
Chief.
team around here, I'm telling you.
How big were these poles?
They're right out there.
Oh, okay.
Huge, huge.
They were huge. They were bigger than he is.
Yes, definitely.
If he'd have fallen in the hole, we couldn't have gotten him.
Okay, wastewater, anything from the treatment plant? IT technology, anything on that report that we need to go over? I think I saw something I wanted to point out. I think in the process of iCompass, I don't know that it's, necessarily, vacant positions, but definitely the town manager needs to be involved. I think most of the positions have been or will be filled, so I don't think that's really the reason, but, that is in process, and hopefully, very soon we'll be able to start using iCompass for our meetings and make everyone's life a lot easier. Okay, planning and zoning.
Just a quick note before my report. I believe 2015 was the last summer that we had the YES program. I don't know how I know that, but I think that's the case. It's been
Wow,
7 years.
7 years, wow.
Wow.
Too long.
So, Suzie, Planning and Zoning Report, just a quick correction, this is the June report, and rather than the July report, just as a correction to what's in your packet. So, new business licenses, again, you know, we're seeing steady, increase in businesses coming into town, so, again, you'll see that there was 4 new businesses in the month of June. I will point out that All Roads Cafe had their grand opening yesterday, and I intend to get over there tomorrow or Friday if I can, and just make sure that, that their license is up on the wall. No. No, and we have some really interesting things coming forward. I just want to point that out to you. So we did only have 1 renewal, but, you know, that's, our renewals typically come in January. So that's why they kind of trickle in. We processed 17 development reviews, three new single family, site-built homes, 3 manufactured housing units.
Here we are.
Blake's did come in with their development review itself, so that's in place. Again, we always have a lot of accessory buildings. We had 5 this in the month of June, and then 3 solar arrays and 2. Just so if you're curious what temporary living is, that's basically people that are living in. We allow for a 1-year placement of a RV on a site while a home is being built. They do require development review to place that temporary trailer. It's 1 year and it can be renewed up to 1 additional year. So,
Can I ask a question about that? Is there a limitation on how long somebody can have a visitor with an RV in their driveway or something like that?
I don't think the ordinance addresses that. It just can't be permanent. I don't think we've defined permanent. I will tell you, Commissioner, the zoning ordinance, there are so many issues within it. I don't know if anybody's aware of this, but adobe building is not permissive in the town of Edgewood. Log cabins are not permissive in the town of Edgewood. Round earth is not permissive in the town of Edgewood. Panel-built homes are not permissive in the town of Edgewood. Straw bale homes are not permissive in the town of Edgewood. I don't know what happened, but they put, in the 2019 ordinance was passed, it specifies that only stick-built homes are allowed in the town of Edgewood.
We should review that.
We need to review that. And let me go through the report, and then I want to make another comment about the zoning ordinance that's really problematic. So anyway, we did approve 1 subdivision. It was over in the southeast part of town, fairly straightforward approval. We conducted 3 pre-development conferences. There's another significant subdivision that's coming in for review and approval over off Nugent Road. There are, again, 2 new proposed commercial properties. I have another one coming in tomorrow that will be kind of exciting. And so, you know, we're continuing to see businesses wanting to come in and locate in the community. It's really good, positive things coming in. We have 4 properties that are currently looking at sewer, technical advisory work, so they can tap into the sewer. There's 2 more coming down, so there will be a total of 6 potential sewer hookups over this summer, or in summer and fall. So I think that's really good news. We are continuing to collect a lot of development fees for the county of Santa Fe. And so we're happy to send, I guess, those checks to Santa Fe County. And then we did hear at their last planning and zoning meeting, we did approve 1 request for subdivision, as I mentioned earlier. And again, we're reviewing the ordinance. I do want to point out that when we get into code compliance issues, there's really only 1 sentence and 1 word in the ordinance that we can kind of hang our hat on to where we're even allowed to enforce what are called violations. So it's not very clear, there is no codification of what a violation is in the town of Edgewood. It's just, there's a word in there that says practices that are not conducive to public health and safety. And if that sentence was not in the ordinance, then we would not be able to enforce, violations in the town except through commission declaration of a nuisance. So we really need to get the zoning ordinance reviewed and up and running. We're meeting with legal counsel on Friday. We're gonna kind of go through the ordinance, make sure that she is, in agreement with what we're seeing. We did, as you know, we did hire a code enforcement officer at the end of June. We have sent out 16 letters in the last 2 weeks. We've gotten 3 responses to those letters. Most of them are coming back refused. So we're going to look at what options we may have going forward there. But we will probably be bringing 3 properties forward for declaration of nuisance to start with. I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions?
Mayor?
Yes.
Brad, I'm curious about these 6 sewer hookups. Are those single family, or why are they considering sewer hookups?
They're commercial properties.
Commercial, okay. And these are new businesses in the 66 area, or?
Well, they're, most of them are in the Plaza Loop area, and then there's the Blakes, which is, for Walmart.
Okay.
There's another one that's across the street from Walmart, which will be coming in. And then, and then the other 4 are over on the Plaza Loop area.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Nye?
Brad, the All Roads Cafe, where is that located?
It used to be where the Bacon Jam used to be.
Oh, down over here? Is it a sandwich shop or what?
I think so, but they are the same owners that have the donut place over off of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're the same owners as my understanding. Yeah,
Sandwiches and pasta.
there you go. And then also in that shopping center is the Blended and Bronzed, which is a smoothies and canning.
You say smoothie and gummies?
No, and canning, yes, no gummies. Yeah. And then, obviously Huckleberry Ceramics is a home business, and the Bug Boys is exterminator.
Well, that's good to know.
Buzz, the Blended and Bronze. Oh, Bug Boys? Bug Boys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, commissioners, do you want to take a break? Keep going.
Keep going.
Linda wants a break, so.
Sorry, what?
Somebody in the audience just voted for a break.
Okay, well, I guess up here they're ready to keep going, so, Madam Mayor, I'm not gonna we have a really full agenda, so we need to speed up here, and so I'm gonna forego any comments, other than just to say on the All Roads Cafe, I did attend on their opening day, because I saw the post on Nextdoor, and great sandwiches. They were very, very good sandwiches, so, and friendly service. All right, Mayor Pro Tem.
I just have one comment. Is this mic on?
No. It's red.
We got battery issues again. Yeah. So, yours is out too. I think the batteries are all fried. So, I asked Cesar Marenko to be here. He's in the audience. He's, as you recall, we had voted to get some help on some of our temporary projects. He actually brought some of the work product. It's a draft, but it's a great work in progress. Just wanted you all kind of know how that's going. In order to manage so that we don't have another surprise where we have a grant expiring in 60 days and have to jump all over it. This will give us lots of planning tools so that we can, thank you, so that we can do that. And, I wanted to introduce him, and would you mind just stepping up to the mic, Caesar, when you're done there? So these are all of the grants that we have, currently in the capital outlay. Some of the grants aren't active yet, it'll indicate that. The spreadsheet has, we'll get you a copy of the digital spreadsheet when it's done, but not only has each grant in a column like that, but there are backup tabs for each one with more detailed information on the activation dates of the grant, the reversion dates, so we know what all of our deadlines and targets are that we need to hit.
Are we actually reverting 7,405 on the 151?
Yeah, we
Wow.
wanted to make sure we didn't run over on the grant, and there was some items that didn't get shipped in at the last minute and didn't get delivered. So
But they were ordered.
They were ordered, but we actually have to have them delivered on that grant. But this is Caesar, if you want to introduce yourself, just say a few words.
Well, Mayor Jaramillo, Commissioners, good evening. My name is Cesar Marenco. I've been up here a couple of weeks now, kind of putting together this spreadsheet on the different funding sources. It's a little bit of a challenge because I'm gathering information from different places, but been working very closely with Dave and Jerry and the staff to kind of put all this information together on the different sources. Funding sources, there's approximately, well, a little bit over 20 sources, and there's still some gaps that of information I need to fill in. It is a work in progress, but I think there may be some sources that I don't have here. I'm still checking different places to see if I'm missing anything, but I think I have, or we have a kind of a good handle on kind of the major funding sources, their effective dates and reversion dates, and the amounts of the grants, matches, and legislative capital outlay that we're going to receive. And so it's been interesting. What can I say? But it's a lot of information, and I know kind of the type is a little bit small, but kind of been working with Kay and Jerry on putting all this information and hoping this is helpful for them and for the new staff that's going to come along.
Appreciate the work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Were there any questions?
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Commissioner Naya. Any comments?
No, I'll forego.
Okay. And Commissioner Brennan.
The only thing I got is when we have the dumpster days, I know we had a few minor situations where people were trying to, get by with dropping off things that were not permitted. And I think a way to deter that is to have some sort of a, imposed penalty when people try to purposely kind of circumvent the, what's allowed. And that's just something I think we should take into consideration going forward.
Okay. Can we just tell them no, that we can't accept what they're trying to dump?
One case I was talking about, they actually got a washer and dryer offloaded off their truck, and they were trying to get out, and they got caught. So if people have a bad tendency sometimes to see if they can get away with something, especially if there's no penalty, but if there's a penalty, they tend to think twice. I know when I was a kid, there were penalties, and my dad was quite forceful on those, and I always thought twice before. That's how I learned.
Well, there's consequences, huh?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Donner.
Real quick, we had talked about doing something with Old Town Hall, but I haven't heard anything in a couple months now. So I'm curious of where we're at on that. The cell tower that we had voted to, further conversations with the company. I'd like to see an update on that. And then, real quick. And then I've talked with Plateau. they are in the process of wanting to expand here in Edgewood. So I have a meeting with them later this week. I'll have more of an update next week.
I did receive an email from the appraiser, and I'm supposed to get it this past Monday, and I have not.
Okay.
So I'll follow up and see why. And, I did forward our interest for the cell tower, but I've left a message, voicemail, and I have not heard back.
Okay.
And, for the council, let us know what to do with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, matters from the interim clerk treasurer, and I'm gonna jump ahead here for the sake of time. If we have a motion to approve, I'll entertain that now.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report for June 2022.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Commissioner Anaya, second. Any questions or discussion? Or clerk, if there's anything fast you need to share? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, matters from the interim manager. This is, public input for ICIP. This is on the agenda for discussion. So, do you have anything for us? We did include in the packet the list from last year, and I think this was for if the public had any comments or if the commissioners wanted to discuss anything, we could, right?
Correct.
Okay, commissioners, any comments or discussion on the ICIP? Public, any comments? Okay. All right, next to the Section 16 bridge, AKA Houston Historical Bridge Project. First off, possible alternative placement locations, and secondly, task order for independent engineer to analyze options. And, we did bring this up at a previous meeting, I think under commissioner comments, but now it's on the agenda for discussion and action. So if you want to, let's just go ahead and take the alternative placement location, Commissioner Brennan.
All right, Madam Mayor, thank you. If you look at your, package, there are some photos, and this is the bridge on Horton Road where it crosses over the draw. It is a narrower spot there. There is one picture you'll definitely notice. You can see the trail coming down. I think it's the first picture in the line. Trail comes along the side of Horton Road, and then in order to get over the bridge, pedestrians then have to actually get off the trail, walk on the bridge, which the section for them to walk is quite narrow. Anytime oncoming traffic is coming, and there's one picture that actually shows a vehicle that was coming in there while I was taking these pictures, having to actually move over to the other lane, you know, to make sure for safety, not to avoid hitting any pedestrians. Came to my mind that I just, imagine a family with a couple of kids on their bicycles coming through here, car coming one way, car coming the other, definitely can cause a serious situation. On the very last picture, there actually just is showing a picture of that bridge itself. I went out there and took a measurement of that bridge. The span of that bridge itself is 75 feet. The span of the Houston Historical Bridge is 62 feet. So I did go out there with Mr. Wheeler, who actually built bridges when he was working, to come out there and take a look at what I was talking about and what my ideas were and see if they were actually plausible. And he told me that what I was looking at could be done easily. It just would have to have the proper engineering. Now the Houston Bridge is actually 13 feet shorter than what the span of the Horton Bridge is. But the way that could be fixed is by adding a box drain on both ends of the bridge, between the supports and the side. That would give us the additional width, and that would also that would allow the water to come through. In fact, it would actually make it a little bit wider than what the Horton Road Bridge is, allowing maximum water flow to go through there. once again, it would have to have, certified engineers to take a look at it, but I think this would actually be a good starting point. We would just, basically be extending the skirts themselves. The bridge, the Houston Bridge would be about anywhere between 10 and 15 feet away from the Horton, Bridge. If you look at the concrete padding that's there, where the concrete padding ends, that's 10 feet. So that'll just give you an idea where 10 to 15 feet would fall for that bridge. There are a few other things that would have to be addressed. There is a sort of like a drain gully on both sides. However, that could easily be fixed by installing a culvert that would collect any water that's going there and direct that water a little bit further downstream, so that water wouldn't even have to go underneath the proposed walking bridge. This would actually meet the requirements that we have to have for that bridge. There's an existing trail. It's visible from the road. Granted, it's not 344, but Horton Road is still a major road for Edgewood. And it would be actually providing a good service for the town, because by having that there, people would no longer have to be leaving the trail, getting on Horton Road, and then getting back on the Horton Road. Like I said, it's just flat out dangerous. In fact, there were a few times when I was out there taking the pictures, I got a little nervous. Having the traffic in my back. There is plenty of room there to put it in. Like I said, the span is there. I don't think it would have any problems about having a water backup. Like what the problem is that we're looking at the current proposed locations. And so what I would like to propose is to actually have our engineers take a look at what I am suggesting and see if that is plausible for as far as that goes, and try to get a cost estimate of putting that bridge there.
All right, next, Commissioner Powers, task force, do you have a kind of executive summary on this? I think you already explained it last time, but.
Yeah, and what Ken was just suggesting could be included in this task order to look at the options for, first of all, to look at the concerns that have been expressed by some of the constituents in Edgewood, some of whom are engineers. And it's been expressed that this bridge might have water flow over the top of it because it's below certain 20 or 30 or 40-year flood lines. And that's okay as long as it's not a traffic bridge. But I just saw in the news recently where the governor was down standing on some bridge that everybody had said had been washing over for years, and all of a sudden it failed. So this task order is really to evaluate the concerns of those constituents, make sure we're making a wise decision with this public money, and look at the options for other locations that might actually eliminate some of the risks associated with putting this bridge out in the middle of an arroyo rather than bank to bank. So I think that could definitely be included, and we might as well have them look at those options while we're at it.
Yeah, because this location here, you would be bank to bank.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to have the town manager execute a task order for an independent engineer to analyze options and alternative placement locations, including at Horton Road, for the Houston Historical Bridge project.
I'll second that.
Okay, so Mayor Pro Tem seconds. Any comments or questions?
Madam
Yes.
Chair.
Commissioner Donner.
Yes, do you mind if I add a friendly amendment?
Go ahead.
I would rather there be more than just one engineer. I think we should have at least two, and see if their data matches up. Because we've heard, I've seen conflicting reports from different engineering companies on different things.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should have multiple engineers
Madam Chair.
independently look at it.
Hold on just one second. Commissioner Naya,
No, let Terry finish, please.
Commissioner Powers.
I just wanted to add that this would be through Dennis Engineering, who, as I understand it with Kay, who was the town engineer for, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
Okay.
And in discussions with them, this guy knows Edgewood drainage more than anybody I've ever seen, just off the cuff. So I understand the concern. I definitely want the best opinion you know, but I trust this guy a lot. I mean, he's never steered us wrong on anything. So I don't know if it would be a duplication of effort or money, I don't know. But I just wanted to throw that out there, that that's who it is. And I too have seen some conflicting reports, but they're from some of the engineering companies that historically I've noticed problems with. So that's one of the reasons why I think that Dennis is being selected. So I just wanted to throw that information out there to add a little comfort or context.
Okay, well, I'll withdraw mine.
Okay. Commissioner Anaya.
Yeah, Madam Chair, thank you. Along this task order, if it's possible that we could put, I know they're gonna be working on the Houston Bridge. I would also like them to look at possible putting in another bridge if we decide to put the historical bridge in the location it was designed for. But we do need to find a way to get the path done on Horton, because as Commissioner Brennan said, it is absolutely danger.
It is. I've been on there and walking, and it's scary.
So if I may, please, as an amendment, add Horton Bridge.
For them to look at
To
that
look at
location.
locations and
They'll be looking at it anyway, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
I'm good with a second if you're okay with the amendment.
Yeah, I'm okay with that friendly amendment.
Thank you.
Just a comment here, it doesn't need to be in the motion, but just kind of direction for the engineer. I want to make sure that we find out on the funding for widening 344, and that information, because that could impact the engineering of the current location. At least that's the hope, that it would solve that problem of the current location. So I'd like to find out if DOT is going to be doing our #1 project or not. And, you know, with all of the funding and everything, they should be determining pretty soon, I would think within the next month or so. So, but that's just kind of side comment. Okay, guys, are we ready to vote on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next is the public hearing, and we'll go ahead and open public hearing at 8:14. This relates to review and approval of proposed ordinance number 2022-06, prohibiting nepotism in the appointment, prohibiting conflicts of interest, providing for a penalty. And commissioners, if there aren't any initial comments, I'll ask for feedback from the public in this public hearing. Anyone in the room here have comments on this one? Or online? Can you go ahead and unmute caller 2? And then Linda Burke and Roger Holden, if you have any comments on this ordinance, you can unmute yourself. If you just click on the mic button for caller 2. Okay, caller 2, you've been unmuted if you have comments on this ordinance. No? Okay, and hearing none from the GoToMeeting.
So when they have their name showing, they can unmute themselves.
Okay, no one here in the room, just double checking. All right. Yes.
Can I ask for clarification on?
Sure.
On number, the one that states, about no person in the capacity of the town manager, commissioner, or municipal judge says we could not have a volunteer. I would use like the library for an example. If somebody wants to volunteer at the library, related to any of the people listed, then, yeah.
May I? That should go through the town manager, I would think, if they should bring it to the town manager to put it on.
What's this, relative of the town manager, commissioner, municipal judge,
Oh, I see.
that they can't be hired in any capacity.
Mm-hmm.
When, it would be a volunteer who would go through the librarian,
I see.
and before it comes to, up the chain of command.
And your contention is that it shouldn't be a volunteer, it shouldn't include volunteers.
It should not include volunteers.
I see.
Unless they're directly, under supervision, but
Uh-huh.
No, well,
is that what?
so if we read this, that's not what it's saying, I don't think. They are not allowed to accept any free or preferred services. So it just means that we cannot accept gifts or pro bono things or, you know, benefits or any concessions from.
She's on A, Audrey.
Section 1A.
Okay, sorry. So you're okay with section 2?
Yes.
No? No person shall be hired in any capacity or appointed. This means appointed. So,
But it's hired, it also says hired or appointed in any capacity as a volunteer.
That's where it gets confusing.
well, it says hired in any capacity or appointed in any capacity as a volunteer. So obviously if they're hired, they're not a volunteer, but, if the person is a relative. So what that means, and I think we talked about this, is an appointment to an advisory board or something like that, an actual point. You can still volunteer. This doesn't mean that family cannot volunteer.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
The thing, the problem is just the way it's written, because one person can read that and then it's saying any relative of any of the town manager, commissioner, municipal judge couldn't volunteer to do anything. Just reading it by the way it's written. Because when I first read it, that is exactly the way I took it. That where my wife, if she wanted to volunteer to go work over in the library and help out, the way this is written, states that she would not be able to.
Yeah.
So you could say, or appointed by the commission in any capacity as a volunteer. That would clear it up altogether.
Well, I think what they're asking is to exclude volunteers, just appointments and hires.
No, because you can have, this is just my viewpoint, you can have a commission that then could fill up the Parks and Rec Advisory Board with their friends and family. See what I'm saying?
So
I don't
this is
have
why
that.
I'm saying, this is, I guess let me read through this real quick. No person shall be hired in any capacity or appointed if the person is a relative of the town manager, the commissioners, or the municipal judge.
Right.
That eliminates, that you do away with the volunteer.
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's either a hired position or an appointed position.
And it could be rather a paid position or a non-paid position. And by taking the word volunteer out, then if somebody's gonna volunteer, like let's say Parks and Rec, they need people help for putting the 25th anniversary celebration together, you know, people to put things together, pack envelopes or whatever, then by the way it's written now, they would not be able to. By removing the word volunteer, they would be, because they're not appointed, they're just helping out, you know, with that.
well, they
particular
can
committee.
now. Because if somebody's just volunteering, they're not appointed. They're
Correct,
not
but just, but
appointed.
the way it reads, and I just don't wanna run into a problem to where down the road, somebody's, you know, family member decides to volunteer to help with one of these groups, and then a particular person gets really bent out of shape saying, well, according to the way this is, the next thing you know, we're having to talk to lawyers and work it out. That's why I just wanna make sure we get this wording right, so we don't run into that problem.
I think
Right,
if you
so-
eliminate as a volunteer, you eliminate the confusion.
I mean, I don't think it does, because it could be,
No person shall be hired in any
It could
capacity
be-
or appointed.
Doesn't that
but
take,
it could be for money or for free.
but doesn't that take into account your concern? Because like, then we couldn't appoint our relatives to the advisory board. But if somebody wanted to be a volunteer for one of the, big events, not an appointed volunteer, just,
Right.
then
A
they could
helper.
still do that, yeah. Wouldn't that take care of both?
So maybe we could say, instead of as a volunteer, paid or unpaid.
I don't even think you need a volunteer in there.
Yeah, so we talk about, say, appointed in any capacity, paid or unpaid, if the person by just taking the word volunteer out.
You could say paid or unpaid in parentheses.
And remove volunteer.
Yeah, just take out as a volunteer and then put in parentheses,
That would work.
paid or unpaid. Okay. Yeah, because you're right, people could get it confused, but it certainly does not mean that family cannot volunteer, it just means they can't be appointed.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's a good change. What else, guys? I think we addressed the $500 because we wanted it to stay here locally. So Chief, that's okay to keep it, here in the local court, right, for 500 misdemeanor, 500? Okay.
Actually. Anything that's 500 would be a full misdemeanor, so we need to drop it down to about 250 in order for that to comply.
Well, it says misdemeanor.
Yeah, so if it's a misdemeanor, we have to adopt it in our local court. If it's not an adopted one, then it's out. So as long as we go through this, yes, we're good.
To leave it at 500? Okay. Yeah, it was, and just for clarification, it was in effect already. We're just updating it now, with the new form of government. So, what else? Any other public comments? Questions, concerns? Okay, we'll go ahead and,
I'll make a motion.
do I need to close public hearing first, Stephanie, and then do the vote? Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and close the public hearing piece of this at 8:23, and then I'll entertain a motion.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-06, an ordinance of the town of Edward, New Mexico, prohibiting nepotism and employment of town employees, prohibiting financial conflicts of interest, providing for a penalty. With the edit.
Okay.
A second?
Commissioner Brennan, second. And we'll do roll call. Commissioner Naya?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Powers?
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Brennan?
Aye.
Commissioner Donner?
Aye.
Thank you, Commission. Next, we have budget resolution authorizing bars, budget adjustment request, and, so I guess we can take that one first. So on the agenda though, we have a public hearing for the review and approval of the final budget for fiscal year 2022-23. To be submitted to the Department of Finance and Administration, which includes resolutions 2022-15, 16, and 17. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing now at 8:25. Any comments from those here? Okay, and those online on GoToMeeting, you can unmute yourself if you have comments. And caller 2, you've been unmuted as well. Hearing none, we'll go ahead with the commissioners' comments and concerns and staff. So we'll go ahead and start off with resolution 2022-15, a resolution authorizing the bars. This is something that we do at the end of each year just to true up the funds, make sure that we don't have an audit finding. Any concerns, Kay or Stephanie, on this one? I'm sorry, is there a problem?
On the bar, this is what we needed to be able to complete the 22 fiscal year.
Okay. Sorry, I was just wondering if there was a problem with the agenda, the way that I said it, Commissioner Powers.
No.
Okay. All right, so, commissioners, any questions on the bars? All right, we'll move to the next one, 22-16. Yes. Okay, we can do that. Let's back up to the bars. Well, I know, that's the question. I was gonna proceed with any discussion inside of the public hearing, then close the public hearing and then do the vote. Is that okay? I think procedurally,
If it's a public hearing, according to the municipal league, you would do all of it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to 16. This is approving the fourth quarter financial report. Nothing on that one? Okay, 2022-17, resolution adopting the Town of Edgewood final budget for fiscal year 2022-23. And this is the final budget out of DFA's system, the LGBMS. And Stephanie, do you want to go over any changes from the interim budget?
There were no changes, we adopted all that was discussed in the interim budget. Everything was included in this, except 3 items which were removed in the interim so that we could balance. That would have been the purchase of a dump truck for $134,000, which isn't coming in until mid-year, well, September maybe. And also the Z-Track tractor or mower, it was a little over $7,000. And then the complete tractor for the maintenance, and that was about $46,000. Otherwise, everything that was discussed through the interim budget and all, which was, I think was pretty much put into this final budget. So you would need a bar in the future as well as, and we could pay for them, but we need to sell those money in the future to cover the expense.
Okay. And anything in particular we need to know about once she got the cash balances in there?
You know, we used the 10%, we used, the 5%, everything. Amelia worked on every detail as discussed in all the cash. Amelia is the one that gets the credit for coming out with the LGBMS.
Okay. Any comments online, commissioners, anything else? Okay, go ahead and close the public hearing at 8:29, and I will entertain a motion on these resolutions.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
I'll make a motion to approve budget resolution number 2022-16.
okay. What about 15 and 17, are you okay with those?
Yeah, do you want to do them as a group? Okay, I'll add those in then, 22, 15, and 17 as well.
Okay.
Second.
Commissioner Brennan, second. Any other discussion? All right, we'll do roll call. Commissioner Donner?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
Anaya?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
I vote aye.
Yay, thank you.
Yay. Next, resolution
Good job.
2022-18, a resolution formulating the governing body commission agenda.
Quick question. Commissioner Powers, did you say resolution 2022-016?
Yes.
That's not all of them,
We also included 17 and 15.
but the final budget for fiscal year 2022 never mind, I read it wrong. My bad.
Correct.
It's okay,
Long day.
I won't laugh at you.
Long day. I would laugh at me. You should laugh at me.
We've all done it.
Resolution formulating the governing body commission agenda. We went over this one in detail last time. Any comments? This isn't the public hearing. It doesn't need a public hearing, but if anyone had any comments, we'd be open to hearing them, I'm sure. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Brennan.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution numbers 2022-018, resolution adopting the process to formulate the governing body commission agenda.
I'll second.
All right, been moved and then by Brennan, seconded by Donner. Any comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, go ahead and vote on this. Commissioner Powers,
Aye.
Anaya,
Aye.
Brennan,
Aye.
Donner,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Okay, next, we have resolution 2018-21A, resolution naming open spaces and parks, which is the current resolution, and then a new proposed resolution, which we may or may not need. We need to talk about this one, and if we need to table it for next time, that's fine. And then also in conjunction with that discussion, we'll take E and F together. Resolution number 2010-16A, resolution adopting an open space naming policy. Establish a clear process for determining appropriate names for open spaces. Okay, so let's just refresh our memories on this a little bit. Last time we brought this up, we had 2018-21 on the agenda for action. And in looking at it, we said, wait a second here, this is really just a resolution that is naming the park. And it's a historical resolution that maybe doesn't need to be changed. But it does refer to 2010-16A, which is the policy itself. So then we went down the path of thinking, okay, maybe what this commission needs to do is take a look at the policy, not necessarily change the resolution which named these open spaces and parks in the first place. So I'm open to feedback on that. Or like I said, if it's getting kind of late, I guess it's 8:30, but if you want to tackle it now, we can. Or if you need more time, we can bring it back.
I think I'd kind of like to think about this one.
Okay, commissioners, do you want a little more time on this one? Okay, let's go ahead and bring it back at the next meeting then, and go ahead and bring both E and F, back. And next, we have approval to apply for state funding for quality of life grant. And on this one, this is something that, there's been a lot of emails coming through from the agency offering these funds to local governments to apply for, and it's a bucket of $45 million for the whole state. And I understood that there were approximately 200 participants on the webinar that had to deal with this particular bucket of money. And so there will be many applicants, and so I don't have high hopes that we'll get all 45 million. But we definitely should apply for something that's out there. So, but before doing that, I just didn't want to like jump ahead and, you know, assume that that's something that the commission wanted to do. So we are here, I guess, to talk about this topic and see, you know, what ideas we might want to ask for. And then Mr. Cog is lined up already to write the grant and apply if we approve tonight. And so my idea is to start things off here would be improvements to the south building here and improvements to section 16. Basically any parks and rec or other things for community members, our youth, but a lot of it I think could be here on section 16.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
That would also include putting in a restroom facility over here at 16?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. That would be great. Fields, we could also do fields, ask for fields, and we can apply for projects separately. So, Commissioner Naya, any wish list items that we should try to apply for, or Donner?
I know that there's a time frame. I know that there's a certain time frame that we have to have this in by, and then we'll know like next week.
It's August 12th is the deadline, I believe.
I thought it was the 29th of July.
It's August 12th.
It is? They moved it up?
Or back,
I know it was
or up.
August 12th then. So.
Yeah, I thought it was August 12th.
21st.
Well, regardless, go ahead.
Anyway, there are a lot of different applications we could use this for.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't have anything, any one thing in particular. I don't see why we shouldn't go after something like this.
Yeah.
So are we okay with leaving it to the judgment of the town manager, Mr. Cog, you know, I'll have input as well as we go through the grant process, but,
I think, you know, we ought to write it as broadly as possible, because there are several different things that could be happening with that south building and could be happening with our fields, and so I think we should make it as broad as we can. So, yeah, and I'm sure that we'll all have input to the town manager.
Yeah.
okay, great.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'm just running things through my head, would that also include possibly starting the work on designing a BMX track for section 16?
Yes, definitely.
And we got work to do.
Yes, we do. And luckily, Mr. Cog is willing to help with that, and I'm sure Ben would as well, so I think we're okay. All right, I'll make a
For a
motion.
community center.
That's not gonna happen, but we do need improvements just to the south, so,
Yes.
definitely on that. I'll make a motion to approve the administration to apply for seat funding for quality of life grant.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public comment for like the 10th time? Anyone?
Oh,
Oh, come on up.
My name is Linda Wheeler. I am a very proud member and family member of Edgewood for 4 years. You guys are doing a tremendous job. Don't give up. Don't let the turkeys or the buzzards get you. I'd like, though, a request. I would like pictures on the wall of our present government. And I would like the team members in a group picture up here for everybody to see. Thank you for what you've done. And keep on keeping on. One other point, when you're 83, we need internet desperately for us old broads that go, wait a minute, I don't know. Maybe we can add some classes, who knows? But one other, I think in my age group, with us not having computer access when we want, if we could have telephone numbers for volunteers to contact, that would really be helpful for us out there. So please, and Chief, thank you for everything. I appreciate you all. Just keep on keeping on. But I do want pictures. They're fine, but the archives need to be.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. Thank you very much.
thanks for your support, Linda. You've been a great cheerleader for us. It helps to have some moral support.
Okay. Future meetings. We have the commission meeting August 2nd. Do we need a second public input meeting prior to the public hearing on the ICIP? It's an option.
Would that be a special meeting, or are you saying on the August 2nd,
we could add it to August 2nd. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. All right, and just give as much transparency and openness as possible, and let people, if they have, comments on it, then that'd be great. Community cleanup dumpsters, thank you, Stephanie, for getting that. And July 22nd to 23rd, thank you, Commissioner Donner, and get that on Nextdoor app. I'm sure, is it on the website already? Can we get aerials? Okay. And future agenda items, the open space site and facilities policies and procedures. We're just giving the administration time to take all of our feedback and the community's feedback. Can I get a mic?
this one failed?
Yeah, so take take the feedback that we gave on that facilities usage policy and then make changes and then bring it back at a future meeting, so. All right, next, closed session. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for this.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Brennan.
I can make a motion as per, roll call and vote pursuant to New Mexico NMSA 1978, section 10-15-1H2, confidential discussion on the hiring, promotion, demotion, dismissal, assignment, or resignation of a public employee, or the investigation or consideration of complaints or charges against a public employee, specifically the appointment of the contract of the town clerk treasurer. Second.
Commissioner Donner, second. Thank you, guys. We'll do roll call vote. Mayor Pro Tem Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Brennan.
Aye.
Commissioner Anaya.
Aye.
Commissioner Donner.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well, so we'll go ahead and go into closed session at 8:42.
Thank you.
Okay, so we need to.
This conference will now be recorded.
We are recording now. My mic is red.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you can.
Oh, wait.
Oh, it's still good?
You can hear me? Yeah. It's red. Okay. So the commission did not decide the personnel issue, in the executive session, and we're now moving to open session to discuss or vote on the, contract with
We
the.
need, Madam Mayor, we need to make a motion to come into open session.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. So we are now, moving to open session to discuss or vote on the contract, with the clerk treasurer. And so I'll entertain that motion to come into open session.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to come back to open session.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so, Mayor Pro Tem Powers second, Commissioner Brennan made the motion, and so we'll go ahead and do roll call vote. Commissioner Donner?
Aye.
Commissioner Brennan?
Aye.
I vote aye. Mayor Pro Tem Powers?
Aye.
And Commissioner Anaya?
Aye.
Okay, we are in open session. And so, anything else that we need to talk about at this time?
Affirmations.
I'll go, right, that's, thought something was missing. So I affirm that, I had no conflicts of interest and only what was on the agenda was discussed, and no decisions were made, as I stated earlier.
I so affirm. I so affirm.
I so affirm also.
And I so affirm.
Okay, thank you, Commission, and, next I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that the town, rescind and withdraw the, job offer and contract for the clerk treasurer.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do roll call vote. Commissioner Anaya?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Brennan?
Aye.
Commissioner Donner?
Aye.
Okay, and, I forgot to give the time that we came into open session. You got it? Okay. And, next on the agenda is adjournment, so we'll go ahead and.
I have one more comment, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
So we had these technical difficulties tonight, And Ryan Penfold really stepped up and helped us out and got us going. And I've had reports back from constituents that the sound quality was better than we've ever had, and the video quality as well. So I really appreciate it, Ryan. You stepped right in when we needed you. And I would sure like to talk with you about solving our problems on a more permanent basis. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ryan. We really appreciate you. You've always been here for us. It's been great. All right, thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and adjourn at 9:07. Thank you, everyone. Wasn't I?